Welcome to the One Piece Runback, Episode 2, hosted by your boys, Mr. G and YHuss from the Strawhat Sitdown. Please drop a like, a follow, a sub, shoot, even drop a comment because that will always make our day. And we'll be sure to drop more One Piece greatness from your favorite crew every week.
Yes, sir.
Today we will be covering chapters 8 through 21, Orangetown arc, or maybe, can we call it the Buggy arc?
Maybe.
Or maybe the Choo-Choo, the Chow-Chow?
That's true too, yeah. Choo-Choo
Right?
had a big part.
Choo-Choo arc. But, before we get into all that, I'm going to send it over to my boy, YHuss, the one, the only YHuss, to start us off.
Let's get it, man. Right into it. So, where we left off, after leaving Kobe, Luffy and Zoro are lost at sea. While lost, Luffy has the bright idea of trying to catch a bird to eat, but it's way bigger than he thought, and he gets hauled off with it. Zoro frantically chases him, but he also gets held up by 3 pirates who try to rob his boat, but being Zoro, he quickly dispatches them. They tell him about how their boat got robbed and their treasure was swindled by a certain woman, and right after, they suspiciously were immediately swept up by a storm.
In a place called Orangetown, that same girl is running from other pirates she stole from. When Luffy falls from the sky, she takes this opportunity to fake that Luffy is her boss, and the pirates attack Luffy, even knocking off his treasured straw hat, which Luffy retaliates and takes them all out. The girl introduces herself as Nami. As you guys see, she's one of our key players on the bottom.
Sir.
Introduces herself as Nami, a thief who steals from pirates, and she tries to get Luffy to team up with her because of his strength. Meanwhile, on the roof of a building in the town, Captain Buggy gets upset over thinking he heard the guy talk about his nose. And he uses a mysterious devil fruit power to lift the man off the ground in front of a cannon, which lets off a huge blast.
From there back to Nami, she explains why the town is so empty. The villainous Captain Buggy has taken over, which my buddy Mister just mentioned. She tells Luffy about her plan to steal money so that she can buy a certain village for 100 million berries. She suggests that they work together, even calling herself the best navigator around. But she recoils after learning that Luffy's a pirate. However, she decides to continue the whole boss thing by turning Luffy into Buggy so she can join his crew and take his treasure. So she brings Luffy in front of Buggy, giving Buggy his map back, and Buggy finds all of this hilarious, so he agrees to let her join his crew.
Zoro makes it to the town's dock finally, with the 3 pirates Nami stole from in the beginning. Before punishing Luffy for Nami's crime, Buggy shows off the power of his Buggy Ball. Once fired, it obliterates a whole row of buildings to Nami's utter shock. Honestly, when that scene happened, I was shook. Rereading it again, absolutely shook. I was like, whoa. And honestly, it made me feel like the Buggy Pirates were a bit more menacing than I remember them. You know?
They had some firepower, yeah.
They did. Back to it. Buggy tells her that to make things right, Nami has to fire the cannon at her former boss. Nami is frozen. To her, Luffy might be a no-good pirate, but if she murders him, she'll be just as bad.
Luffy notices Nami's hands are shaking, and he tells her, smiling, "This is what you get for going up against pirates unprepared." Oof. Nami hears this and thinks that he means unprepared to murder someone, but he corrects her. He means going up against pirates unprepared to risk your own life. A henchman goes to light the cannon since Nami was taking a while, and Nami puts her staff together from her 3 pieces and knocks him to the ground with it. Nami exclaims that she doesn't want to become a low-down murderer like everyone else. Pirates took someone dear to her, so she'll never become what she hates. However, the fuse is still lit, but Nami immediately puts it out with her bare hands. Appearing from nowhere, Zoro saves Nami from Buggy's men, taking out 4 enemies without even removing his swords from their sheaths. Buggy attacks Zoro, but Zoro interrupts cleanly with a few slices that cut Buggy to pieces.
Oof, that was crazy, man. I was like, ooh, Zoro was like, Buggy, you done. I was like, oh, man, this guy's nothing. Right?
Yeah.
But, oof, where were you wrong? As Zoro goes to get Luffy, Buggy's hand begins to fly towards him, stabbing his side. Buggy reveals he ate the chop fruit, so he can't be sliced, no matter who the swordsman is. Luffy yells, stabbing someone in the back is fighting dirty, Big Nose. Buggy snaps. He stabs at Luffy in the cage, but Luffy catches the knife with his teeth and breaks it, swearing that he's gonna clobber Buggy. one of first one of many of Luffy's many declarations within arcs that always come true.
Yes, sir.
Luffy tells Zoro to run. Zoro grabs the buggy cannon and flips it towards Buggy and his men and tells Nami to light it. Zoro proceeds to pick up Luffy within the cage, still bleeding from the wound Buggy inflicted earlier, showing those first mate qualities already.
Yes. Damn, what a legend, man.
For real. Oof. And then we see that Nami also took the key to the cage when they escaped. So the three of
Yes,
them
sir.
escaped.
All three of them working together beautifully already, man. So the three of them had to stop in front of a store because Zoro was just absolutely wiped out. And Nami reveals that she has the key. And so she throws it in front of Luffy, but gets eaten by a dog standing right in front of the store.
Whew.
They meet the mayor of the town right then, and he tells them that this dog Choo Choo still guards the store waiting for his master. We don't learn too much though, because Moji the lion tamer finds them, and Nami and the mayor bolt from the scene. Moji's lion attacks Luffy, breaking the cage and sending Luffy flying. Moji continues to terrorize Choo Choo with his lion named Richie, and they completely destroy the store. While this is happening, we see flashbacks of Choo Choo's owner bonding with Choo Choo, telling him stand guard until he gets back from the hospital. Luffy sees the store in flames and confronts Moji. He spins his arms together, grabs the lion Richie by the snout, and throws him to the ground with Gum Gum Gavel.
Moji tries to apologize, but Luffy says, "It's too late for apologies. That won't bring back Choo Choo's treasures." Luffy grabs Moji's collar, pulls him pulls him into him, and decks him right in the face. Looking at this destroyed store, Nami snaps about pirates, calling them all the same. And when Luffy pops up, she says she should kill him right now before he can get a crew and pillage the town. Luffy drops a box of pet food in front of Choo Choo, telling him that it was all he could save, and that Choo Choo fought well. And Luffy knows that he did. Yo, I'm getting a little emotional, bro.
I
This
know,
scene,
man, I
this
know.
scene gets me every time, man. Like just, man, Choo Choo fighting what's his name?
Moji's
Moji,
lion Richie,
Moji's
yeah,
line.
Moji's
Oh
lion.
man,
What a legend,
that
man.
was tough, man.
I'm glad we read it and didn't have to listen to the music and the voices.
Oh
I
god,
would have cried, man.
no, I know. As I'm reading this again, I was like, damn, I'm thinking about it. I was like, bro, I'm crying a little bit, bro. Like,
Yeah, bro. It
oh
hits, man. It
god,
hits.
you know. Choo Choo barks, and Luffy says, "Thanks, good luck to you." Hinting at the
Yeah,
voice
it's
of all
kind of
things, maybe. You know,
crazy. Yeah,
certain things in the
maybe,
future, maybe.
maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Moji reports his loss against Luffy to Buggy, who is shocked and asks, "Not even Zoro?" Nami apologizes for snapping on Luffy, and he says he understands. I get it.
The mayor finds himself rallied by Luffy and Chuchu's battle. As he goes on about how the town was built from the hard work and consistency of the people, Buggy unleashes a buggy ball from across town, obliterating a row of houses, including the mayor's where Zoro was sleeping. Zoro was pretty unfazed, though, calling it a hell of an alarm clock. But the mayor gets up crying and says it's time to fight. Right then, Nami agrees to join forces with Luffy and Zoro for their common goal. The mayor steps to Buggy's building, but Buggy, using his powers to choke the mayor, lifts him in the air with his hand. The mayor fights back, punching on the hand holding him up. Luffy comes through and removes Buggy's hand, telling Buggy he's back to make good on his promise to knock him out.
Oof,
That's my
man.
goal.
I know, for real, man.
IMC baby.
Uh, Luffy knocks out the mayor, making sure he won't be in the way. Yeah, cold, bro. He's
Yeah,
like,
to
I don't.
everyone's shock too.
It don't matter, bro. I'm gonna knock you. You in the way? I'm gonna knock you out.
Yeah, it's for your own good.
Oh man, Luffy taunts Buggy, calling him Big Nose, prompting him to shoot a buggy ball directly at him. Luffy was clearly ready for this, though, drawing in air to inflate himself in a move called Gum Gum Balloon, bouncing the buggy ball back. Oh man. Buggy takes no damage, using two of his men as shields, and Buggy's one other elite fighter, Kabaji,
Yep,
uses the lion Richie as his shield, which was kind of messed up. Damn it.
that was messed up.
It
Yeah.
was. Kabaji goes to stab Luffy, but Zoro blocks it, since he's the sword fighter. Kabaji thinks to himself about the wound that Buggy inflicted Zoro earlier and blows fire out of his mouth at Zoro's face. As Zoro reels back, Kabaji kicks him right where Buggy stabbed him. The attack clearly met its mark as Zoro is writhing in pain. Zoro blocks another sword swipe, but Kabaji once again kicks the same spot, which keeps Zoro on the ground.
Kabaji rears for another attack, but Zoro just punches him in the face. Right then, Zoro cuts his side open, right where Buggy stabbed him, asking if that's enough of a handicap for his opponent. Zoro states he can't lose to anyone who called himself a swordsman, and if he loses to the likes of Kabaji with such light wounds, then he might as well give up on his dream right then.
Facts.
After this, Nami tells Luffy she's gonna go infiltrate the place where Buggy keeps his treasure. Back to the fight though, Kabaji throws spinning tops right at Zoro, which he bats away. But they serve as a distraction for Kabaji to get in the air with his unicycle. Let's see, big dog.
Buggy. Oh man, I was on the wrong line, brother.
It's all good. It's all good.
Buggy goes to hold Zoro down, telling Kabaji to finish him off, but Luffy stomps Buggy's flying hand to the ground. Zoro dodges Kabaji's attack and unleashes his Onigiri. I
Yes,
think this is the
sir.
first time he actually called his attack.
Yep, I believe so
Just
too.
a
Yeah,
little fun fact. Uh,
interesting.
uh, damn. Unleashes his Onigiri and crashes to the ground as well, telling Luffy that he's going to sleep. Buggy asks Luffy what he and Zoro plan to do at the Grand Line. Sightseeing? But Luffy responds that he's going to become King of the Pirates.
Let's go.
Buggy calls him a fool, then remarks that Luffy and his straw hat reminds him of someone else, an insolent dog with red hair. Buggy confirms that it's Shanks, and Luffy expresses interest in Shanks' current whereabouts. But Buggy tells him, you won't get any info out of him without a fight.
Buggy throws out some knives, using his powers to chase Luffy with them. But Luffy dodges and throws a punch that Buggy narrowly slips. Luffy grabs a building with his outstretched hand, rocking himself towards Buggy, using his offhand to do Gum Gum Sickle. Buggy dodges his ability by detaching his neck from his shoulders, some goofy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And Buggy shoots his handful of knives at Luffy, scratching his hat, and this enrages Luffy, who again calls it his treasure. Buggy attacks the hat again, knowing this, stabbing through it with three knives.
Oof.
In retaliation, Luffy rears for another lariat, and Buggy, seeing this attack before, preemptively pops his head off to dodge once more. But Luffy targets Buggy's midsection with a fierce kick. He really fanned him out right there. And after Luffy thrashes
And
Buggy more on the
thanks.
ground, he tells Buggy, "Keep Shanks' name out of your mouth."
Oof. Buggy keeps going about how Shanks stole a treasure from him, and tells a story about him and Shanks being crewmates, and how Buggy had a treasure map that he hid from the rest of the crew. Buggy found a devil fruit, and Shanks accidentally scared him into eating it, and then fell into the sea like an idiot. Shanks dives in and saves him, but Buggy feels that it's his fault he ate the devil fruit, and that he can't go to the bottom of the sea for the treasure on the ocean floor. Buggy is furious remembering it and says putting your hands on his treasure means he has to squash you, and flies at an unsuspecting Nami, who is just finishing taking up his crew's treasure.
As Buggy is right about to attack Nami, Luffy kicks Buggy in the groin, since he left his legs behind to chase her. So Buggy, realizing this, breaks into a ton of pieces that all go flying in there after Nami, and once again is about to stab her. But Luffy sees Buggy's feet that are having to walk and not fly, so he takes them out of his shoes and starts tickling him, which stuns Buggy. And Nami takes the opportunity to swing the heavy bag of treasure at Buggy, but he catches it and tries to counter. But Luffy gets there and kicks him in the face. Buggy gets back up, but for some reason he's just a head, hands, and feet, because Nami tied the rest of his body parts in rope. Luffy swings both of his hands back and uses Gum Gum Rocket to send Buggy flying, ending the fight.
Oof. Nami then agrees to join the crew for the time being, and Luffy goes to check on Zoro and pick up his straw hat. The townsfolk show up and are worried about the mayor and ask who knocked him out, which Luffy outright admits to. Of course. Zoro finds this hilarious, and Nami calls him an idiot. They all start running, being chased by the townspeople. Luffy and them run past Choo Choo, who stands between the townspeople and our straw hats. They get to the dock, and the pirates from the beginning have been waiting to ambush Nami. But they see Zoro and instantly start swimming away. Yo, this shit was hilarious, bro. It was so
Yeah, because
funny, man.
they give their bow for it too. They're like, yo,
They,
screw all of this, man. We don't want to get killed.
they said no, they just bounced, dude.
Yeah.
The mayor wakes up and goes to chase them, and when he catches up, he thinks about how desperate he was, and tearfully thanks Luffy and his crew, saying he won't forget what they've done. Nami is done snapping at Luffy since he admits to leaving all the treasure on the island. She threatens to kill him if he does anything like that again, almost pushing him off the ship, which has Zoro laughing and Nami laughing too. Eventually, and that will be the end of chapter 21, volume 3 of One Piece.
Man.
So, with that being said, uh, YHuss, what were some impressions for you in these last few chapters that we did. What, 8 to
So
21?
I know what we have written, but I just wanted to say because I was thinking about it at the end of this of the recap of the whole thing. Man, that part where Choo Choo at the end stands between the townspeople and Luffy and Nami and Zoro. Oh, it's getting me right now, man. I'm emotional just thinking about it because
No,
like
yeah,
we'll get into it more, but yeah, that really hit me. But for what we actually had down was uh this Zoro is doesn't talk much in this arc. He only has a few scenes,
yes,
but when he has scenes, they're super impactful. Because obviously it's about learning about Nami, and we learned about Zoro last arc. But here we learn more about Zoro and how really just raw of characters, how much he won't give up. So the first thing he does that we're really impressed with is, despite being stabbed, he carries Luffy in his cage on top of his shoulders and walks off with him. That was the most metal thing anyone's done up to this point in One Piece, in my opinion.
yeah,
Um,
I agree.
and he continues to, while still injured, he fights Kabaji while he's getting kicked in the side, and then cuts himself, just to prove that this is nothing to me, and I'll beat you regardless. So that to me was really stood out. Obviously, Zoro's. We'll get to see more of how much of a legend he is. And I think another thing that really stood out to me was Buggy Pirates, how dirty they were of fighters. Like we just talked about Kabaji, kicking
Yes,
Zoro's injury, really winning at all possible costs. And even Buggy in the end tried to help Kabaji fight Zoro. So yeah, there's like we really get to see that pirates don't really have a code of ethics. At least some of them,
not
maybe the really bad ones.
not yeah, not. I feel like most of them,
Most of them
aside
for sure.
aside from our heroes,
Yeah, yeah,
like
absolutely. And that's what sets them apart.
yeah,
And a really big one was like how much Luffy shows in this arc that the Straw Hat really means a lot to him. And we get to hear about more about Shanks for sure, and how much that's his role model. And now we know about all the Buggy and stuff like that. But like Luffy really cares about the Straw Hat, and you can't mess with it, or he'll mess you up. So yeah, that so far those really stood out to me. But what about you, bro?
I will say the Luffy showed that he's not always cool and calm because he
Yes.
during that moment, even Nami realized, oh, so you're not always level headed, right?
Yeah.
Like he got pissed when his hat was attacked and when it was touched and everything like that.
Mm.
So
I mean, that's a great thing to realize. Yeah.
yeah, and that was great. Another thing that we liked was Luffy talks about Shanks and Buggy is perplexed. Someone thinks that they could tell him that, but at the same time, Luffy is shocked that Buggy is talking bad about Shanks. So I actually enjoy that a lot because,
Yeah.
Luffy's like, "Hey, that's my idol. Don't you talk bad about him?" And Buggy's like, "Who the heck is this newbie to be telling me about my old crewmate? Like, who is
Yeah.
you?" So like,
Facts.
I
Facts.
completely, that was a funny interaction between the two. Um, Another one that stood out to me was not me herself. She's super jaded. She wants to have allies, but she's being guarded about herself, which she should. With a little that she shown, that she revealed so far, but she did show that she lost someone precious to her, two pirates. So
Yeah.
I understand why she's jaded, but at the same time, not all pirates are the same,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what Luffy and Zoro, you know, are proving to her.
Yeah.
Uh, Lots of humor in this arc. There was a lot of humor
Yeah.
in this
Yeah. Yeah.
arc, and I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. Just the fights themselves, they were very menacing. I mean, Zoro's getting kicked, bro. Zoro's getting whooped. He kept getting hit in the same spot. Kabaji was like, if Kabaji wasn't fooling around, he would have actually beaten Zoro.
Yeah, and there was a point where Luffy had to save Zoro from Buggy's interference. So
Yes,
yeah, like really, yeah, the Buggy Pirates gave them a bit of trouble a little bit.
they did, and I'm actually excited for the live action because I think it's gonna be done well. And from what I've seen from the trailer, Buggy already looks menacing, and I feel like
Yeah,
they're really like tapping into that power.
I can't wait. I
You
can't wait.
know, uh, but yeah, the humor, Luffy, Buggy, like their powers, they were goofy as heck. And also one of my favorite parts was in the beginning when Luffy got caught by the bird, because he's like he sees this bird and him and Zoro are like, oh, we're hungry, bro. He's like, yeah, I could rocket up there and get it. They're like, yeah, but doesn't that look kind of big? And that's all the way up there, Like Zoro shows some insight that he's actually kind of smart. And then Luffy's like, nah, 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 whatever, yo, let me go. And then he goes, and bro, the bird is about to eat Luffy, and that shit was funny, bro. Yo,
Yeah, that shit was hilarious.
imagine if he didn't drop off Luffy at
right in
at
front
the
of
island.
Nami.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like who knows what would have happened.
It's
But
onwards to the next arc.
yes,
Yeah.
man, that shit was
Oh man.
crazy, bro.
Oh
And
my
then
goodness.
another one was oh yeah, I think I talked about that actually. Buggy's crew was actually pretty menacing, yeah,
Yep.
and
Yep.
getting
Yep.
better of Luffy. Yeah, they definitely were getting the better of Luffy and Zoro.
And one more thing we could say about how medicine they work is Moji, out here just destroying the market and attacking a dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like it's like, bro, what like you guys don't care at all,
they
huh? So
don't,
yeah,
they don't.
you're right.
Yeah,
They really were a menacing crew. Another big thing I really liked about this arc is that we see the second devil fruit of the whole show, which is Buggies,
true. Chop
and
chop, right? Yeah,
yeah, the chop chop fruit. So we see a little bit more about what they can do. We have no idea, like what the limits are. But actually, this is a huge low key. This is a really strong devil fruit. Like you can't get cut. And how many pirates do we see with swords, right?
there's
So,
a lot of
um,
swordsmen in One Piece that spoiler, but
no, no, no.
there's a spoiler.
I could say
Yeah,
man's
yeah,
use swords, right?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. People,
even
a lot
Shanks
of
has
people
one at
use
his
swords.
side.
That's true. That's
Even
true.
Shanks has one at his side in the beginning. So like we see that a lot of people use swords. Zoro, one of the most important characters in the show, uses a sword, and he can't even hurt Buggy.
That's
So
true.
that's kind of crazy, right? So seeing more devil fruits, that was really dope, and obviously it's to a very funny character. So yeah, I thought that was really dope. But
How's
how
it
about we
going?
go over some key moments, Mister?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Key moments. Oof. Introducing Nami. You can't.
Absolutely,
That
absolutely.
was a key moment in and of herself. Our navigator. She has the ability to see the weather before it happens, and she has an inclination for them sticky fingers.
Yeah, just a little bit, just a
Just
little
a
bit.
little bit.
Kleptomania. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I can actually just list off a few real quick. So Nami just off rip saying, you know what? Let me just give Luffy the buggy,
Yep.
make myself right with him, so I
Yep.
can, get back in. But she immediately flips on that because she's not prepared to kill him. So that was really big. And obviously Luffy's huge line. I can't stress enough. Obviously they don't know, but I was telling you I want to talk about this so much. How Luffy telling her like, dude, you were not ready for this. Like, what, you thought this was a game? Nah, you got to be prepared to put your life on the line for this kind of stuff.
Bro,
So I love that
you
moment.
know why that's so crucial already?
Yeah.
Because Luffy saw that in chapter 1, bro. When
Yes. Yes.
when
Yes.
when when the bandits came and
Yeah.
what's his name?
Lucky Rouge.
Lucky Rouge blew the bandit's head off and said,
Yeah.
like you mess they and Shanks was like you messing with pirates? Like, nah, he once that happened, he knew. He's like going forward, everything is serious.
Yep.
And
No jokes.
no jokes, and that's something that you will see as we progress in the story of One Piece.
Yep.
Because even though it's goofy or to be making it goofy and stuff, there's still a pirate world, and
Absolutely. Absolutely.
you gotta fight for it. So uh, another great one that another key moment was obviously Buggy's Devil Fruit reveal.
Absolutely.
Uh, num- the Chop Chop Fruit number two Devil Fruit. That was huge. Like so many implications with that.
Yeah,
And
for
like
sure.
another one was Zoro carrying the whole cage despite being cut by Buggy, which was
Jeez.
crazy. You see Zoro, this cage was dumb heavy,
Yep.
and you just see blood just coming like spewing out of him, and
Yeah,
he's
bro is leaking. I'm still doing it.
for real, man. Like that was huge. Another one, Choo Choo, Chow Chow, the little doggy, bro.
My
The
man.
little doggy standing up to Moji and Reggie. Man, that shit gets me every time. I remember
I'll
one
cry
time,
thinking about it right now.
bro. I
Yeah.
remember one time it was randomly on TV, and I was just watching it, and I'm just crying. I was just like, bro, like the whole backstory. His owner went away, but he never came back because he passed away because he was sick. It just and Choo Choo is still there, fucking waiting, bro. Like that shit gets me, man. That shit gets me.
Oh man, but yeah, so the master and Choo Choo, just some legendary stuff. Right after that, Luffy obviously smokes Mochi, and then but he after that, the really big key moment is Luffy sitting down with Choo Choo and giving him that pet food that he saved, showing him like, yo, I respect the job you did, and Luffy, just showing a lot of depth in this arc already.
Not
And
not
this is a go right ahead, bro.
not just that. It's just that Nami sees it,
Yes,
right?
that's the big part of this.
That's
Yes,
the
sir.
big thing. Nami is there going off. She sees the destruction that the pirates did. Didn't realize Luffy didn't make that destruction. Richie and
Mm,
Moji did fighting Choo Choo, right?
yeah,
If she had was there a little bit earlier, she would have seen that Luffy went in, stood up for Choo Choo, and he even went to get the only thing that was left of his owner's home, which was huge.
And even then, so to her, even if Luffy had not done it, they're all the same to her, right? So
Yeah,
she
yeah,
can't see the difference.
yeah,
And Luffy says it in this scene, like I understand,
yeah.
like I get it, like you've been through some shit. And then he also does say, "So I don't want to hear it though."
No,
So
no, yeah,
Luffy's obviously still Luffy, but
yeah,
still like there's a lot of emotional understanding going on. Nami's realizing maybe this guy's not that bad. Maybe it's not every single pirate that's a piece of garbage. It's a lot of them, but maybe not every single one. So
yeah.
yeah, Luffy already doing his thing, bringing people to his side. So we'll see more of that. And oh yeah, we get more about speaking of the crew, Zoro not letting Luffy fight Kabaji, saying if someone with a sword, that's my opponent. That's my
Yeah,
honor. It's what I do, right? So
that's true.
that was and again, Zoro cutting his wound versus Kabaji, that was big time.
That definitely was big time. Another one was Buggy revealing his past with Shanks and
Absolutely.
seeing some of that crew. You know that crew.
Yeah, a certain
Uh,
crew, yes, sir.
that big crew, that started it all. But that was huge. I was not expecting that
I
such an
know.
early connection to Shanks. Uh, we also then get Luffy and Nami working together to finish Buggy off. And finally, the mayor thanking them and Choo Choo defending them,
Yeah.
you know. And only the mayor knowing that they're the ones that actually helped. All these townsfolk come in finally to do something and they all like, oh, you guys are the ones that did this, when that actually is not the case.
And Luffy didn't admit to it, so I don't blame them. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yes,
like and that's proof that like Luffy, Zoro, they don't care. And I'm sure, and we all know Nami is, but like here we say Luffy and Zoro, like, yo, who cares that we're the ones that helped you? We don't need you to know.
yeah,
We did it for our own reasons, so that's all. It's all we need to do it for. But the mayor thanked them. I love that scene, and we talked about it while we were doing this. It's like we didn't get to. We really want to see more of them.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but who knows?
No, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, some amazing moments, man. This arc was great.
This arc was great. It was a good amount of chapters. That's why at first we were gonna do it with episode one, but we felt like it should have its own episode. I
Yeah.
felt like Buggy Pirates. They left a mark on me. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm excited to
Absolutely.
revisit. When they come back up again. So, for those of you joining us that are here, thank you for being here. Right now, we are going into our spoiler section real quick. It'll be a short section, just to talk about like implications that happen in this chapter, that happen in the future of the journey of One Piece, and also where we are now.
Yeah. So for those that aren't, that are watching this to get caught up, or are not at later parts of the story, thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider liking, dropping a comment. We appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe for more One Piece greatness.
Please do.
But we gotta talk about the what's happening now, the spoiler section.
Yes.
So you kind of hinted at it a little bit, but man, that connection with Buggy and Shanks,
Yes.
that was crazy to see. Obviously at this point in the story, we don't know how much of a legend Shanks is, but even
Or
then, we
Buggy.
know, or Buggy, yeah, I guess, yeah. But even in Arc One, Shanks technically a Yonko back then, even then.
True. True.
So Shanks, Buggy being connected to him at all is crazy, and it's not something that he talks about a lot, obviously. But the fact that he has a history with him and a connection with him, that shit is absolutely insane. But the craziest part about this is that we see a certain legend, the Dark King, Rayleigh. Bro,
Yes, we
that's
do.
crazy,
We
bro.
do. We see a young Riley.
Yeah, young, bro,
It was
no hair.
beautiful. No, it was beautiful. Rayleigh. One thing you all know is I actually named my one of my youngest cat after him.
Hey,
But
yeah, so huge
uh,
favorite character.
yeah, no, it was cool. That the connection with the Rogers Pirates, the fact that he was a cabin boy for them. I think yeah, we saw him as a cabin boy, like he was young.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like that was awesome. Another thing is where Buggy is now. Where is Buggy? Why
Speaking of
has
being a Yonko,
Where is
huh?
Buggy now in the story?
I think he's one of the four greatest pirates in the world, man.
Yes, yeah. So for you, those of you that don't know, or you guys should know, you're in the spoiler section.
Yeah.
Buggy is now one of the Yonko. It's him. It's Blackbeard. It's Shanks, and it's Luffy, baby. Mugiwara no
MC.
Luffy.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir. absolutely insanity. Yeah,
It is crazy. It's
it's
funny
just
how he
fucking
gets there.
funny. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wait till you guys get there. It's pretty funny.
So and then another little piece about, obviously they wouldn't know this yet, but in the arc, even though Nami says like, yeah, I'll be your navigator, we know that you know the betrayal is coming soon
Yeah, yeah.
because she still does. She really, it's kind of like Robin in that, like, she really does like them at this point, but she has her own things to do and she wants to do it her own way. So
No.
she's not fully bought in yet that they'll always save her and be there when they need her or when she needs them. So she'll learn. It's all good.
Not just that, but that also, now that you said that, it uh, a lesson, a theme that we hit on later that they always say, especially after time skip, is pirates always betray one another,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And,
yes. Thank you for saying that. That's a big
and
line, dude.
yeah,
Holy.
and that's something that is already shown here by Nami. Like we will see Nami do that to the Straw Hat Pirates, but Luffy is the one to, even though he was betrayed, he forgave her and understood, and took her back. So
Sir.
he's the only pirate that I've seen that's hasn't really been betrayed like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
because
White.
they don't want to betray them. They don't want to, like, they're doing it like Sanji, Robin, Nami. They're doing it because they don't want to burden the other Straw Hats with
Yeah,
their problems.
yeah.
But nah, man, that's not what the crew's about, baby. We share all our problems, man.
We
So
do, we do. We're family, bro. Fuck family,
absolutely,
Fast and Furious,
absolutely.
baby. Family and
Talk about
everything.
baby.
Yo,
Yeah,
they definitely watching One Piece. They said, yo, Oda
yeah.
Sensei made family. Like this is we gotta follow that, bro.
Yes, sir.
So
Oh
another
man.
thing that we see was Zoro talking about not losing to swordsman. We know that what's gonna happen soon.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like a little foreshadowing because he will lose
Mhm.
in the next few 2 arcs.
Yeah, like 2 arcs from now.
Two
Yeah.
arcs from now. So and then you want to do the last one?
Oh, absolutely. So we talked about it a few, in the arc, because obviously it's not a spoiler to just say, but the Straw Hat is really important to Luffy
Yes.
personally. But we know what that Straw Hat really means. Having belonged previously to Shanks, and before that,
Yep.
the goats, the Pirate King Goldie Roger. So
Goldie Roger himself,
yeah,
bro.
and it's not even just that. There's a big Straw Hat like that looks like it's frozen in Marigewa. So
Yeah.
there's so much of the story that we don't know, man. That's just
We,
spoil this for us at this
it's
point.
true.
So
No, it's true. We
but
still
yeah,
asking questions.
yeah, which is the beauty of it, right? But yeah, so we're in the dark about that. But there's so much more to learn about the Straw Hat and what it means for the world. Man, I'm still going with that. What's the Nefertari Lily letter? Bear the flag that heralds the dawn of the world. Straw Hats, baby. That's what I
Yeah,
think it
they
is.
be, they be leaving a flag everywhere, so
Yeah,
that could definitely be it. And the series that start with
Romance
Romance
Dawn,
Dawn, right?
baby.
So
That's it.
you know, but
Something to think about.
it is something to think about. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It's your boys, Mr. G and YHuss. 2/5 of Straw Hat Sitdown.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
please drop a like, a follow, a sub, a comment. Those definitely make our day. We will respond as quickly as possible. we know,
Absolutely.
no, not as quickly. We're not desperate. We're not desperate for comments. It's okay.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah. We don't want to
No,
talk about One
no,
Piece.
but we really do appreciate it. We just want to talk to One Piece about One Piece
Yeah.
with all y'all.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all for being here. We just want to help you guys. Those of you that trying to catch up to One Piece, to catch up, slowly by listening to the One Piece Runback. So, with that being said, thank you all for being here and enjoy. This is episode 2 of the One Piece Runback. Peace.
Peace.
Who gon' get down? We are. This that Straw Hat sit down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Straw Hat sit down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Straw Hat sit down crew in the building. We Corona to these other podcasts. We gon' put these people in their feelings when they hear this and they know that they can't top this. We spit facts and we poppin' every time an episode is dropping. We see D3 3 in the corner. Mister, that's a real G with the green screen in the background. Got him looking like he in a real scene. We got Big Mod in the cut. Always ready with rebuttals, but he bring the knowledge when we in the huddle, so you know the crew is never gonna fumble. And it's YHuss, last but not least. If you ask me, then Cali, mad the captain, make him rally around me. Every Sunday we gon' run deep, and we can't stop until we find out about that one piece. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat sit down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat sit down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece?